In recent weeks on the MT&Me, we have repaired some of Pearl's wiring and traced down some of her other wiring to figure out where it goes. And today we're going to replace these old cut-up battery cables with these brand spanking new ones. Hi, I'm Russ. I'm rebuilding a 1977 Mobile Traveler motorhome. This is all about the MT and me.
I'm going to entitle this one Russ versus the Dinette. So far, guess who's winning?
Welcome to the very first Russ and Reed Tiny House Project video.
You know why we're here?
Yeah, I think so. Just when you think everything is going great, you get hit with something unexpected. Behold my final victory over the Dinette. Reed, hey Reed, come on in, it's time for the big reveal. And I'm that guy on the radio later on the show this morning. Yeah, so yet another bad thing. It's working out pretty good. If this keeps up, well, I might actually turn into an optimist before this is over with. Hey, I had a plan, and I'm afraid it may have backfired on me. Gosh. It's a lot of videos. We're getting ready for number 100. Can you believe that? And I'm having to sit here and go through all of the MT&Me videos looking for some choice moments to share with you for that very special video coming up. And it's closer than you think, because this one you're watching now, it's number 99. So we're almost there. On this video, not so much a look back at what we've been doing. We'll do that next week. This time around, we've got some new cables to put in on Pearl. So let's see if we can get to that and give me a break from the remote control and all these videos. Yeah. We're going to start by disconnecting the old red battery cable. This is it right here. It goes into this terminal post with this smaller red cable, and this is the the positive cable that goes to the starter. And there's also a couple of other wires here coming from the ignition circuit. All right, so we've got to take that nut out and get that cable off. 13mm socket. And that didn't take much to loosen it up. And that came right off. Okay, so let's get that off. And oh, look, we have another socket. Okay, there's another nut. And it is a different size. Let's see if it's a 15, because I happen to have one of those here. And look, it is. How about that? How lucky can one man get without having to go back to his toolbox? So, let's see if we can loosen this one. It also loosened up just as easily. And I think once we get this nut off, we'll be able to pull that cable. And there we are. Okay, the red cable is free. So, one down, one to go. Now this is our black cable, the ground cable going to the engine block with this nut right here, which fortunately is also another 17 millimeter. Just a little harder to get to get some leverage, but there we have it. Now I better turn it with my fingers just yet. There we are. That gets the black cable free, so that we should be able to just pull this entire assembly out of here. How about that? So there we have our old cables, the good ends and the bad ends. Let's put some new ones on and have Pearl ready for a new battery. Alright, since we're down here on the front of the engine, let's do the black cable first. Get it unwound, and I think I'll go ahead and try to feed it up through the area where it needs to go. Although maybe I need to feed it from the other end. Let's try that. All right, I think we're in good shape here. All we have to do is bolt it back to the engine block. That should give us a nice firm connection, a solid ground to the motor block. Now, let's get the red cable and get it installed. Okay, the red cable is 6 inches shorter than the black one, but it doesn't have as far to go. Only has to connect to this post right here and come back over here to where the battery goes. So let's get it fed through like we did the black cable, so that it will be coming out in the right place. Okay, there we are. Now, these two have to go together. It really doesn't matter which one's on top because they're all connecting to the same place. Let's get our 17mm bolt and get it started back. I believe that'll be plenty snug enough. And now we need to take this cable, which I'm going to take a moment to reroute just a little bit, since I have the opportunity to here. Put it a little more in line with everything else. And let's tighten it down. And that should have our connections. So that now, as we come over here to the battery box area, we have our negative cable and our positive, complete with post connectors now. And we have plenty of cable slack to hook the battery up and not have any problems there, so you don't have to worry about that. Something you can tell I have to do is rebuild the base for the battery. It's in pretty sad shape here, just about to fall apart. So we'll get another piece of metal or even a piece of wood or something to go across here to hold the battery in place, so that we can use the security strap here and strap it back down once we get it in place. And then we get it hooked up. We figure out, well, let's see, we know that this wire will also have to go to the positive, so it's going to have an extension put on it. This more than likely goes there too, so we'll have to extend it as well. And this, I know, goes to the negative post, so it's going to have an extension too. Just when you think you get all the wiring done, there's always something more to do. So, in case you can't tell, I'm pretty jazzed about getting those new battery cables in. Hard to believe these old ones were one of the last relics of Pearl's damage. And like I said, you can see plainly where they were both cut off when someone swiped her battery. But we got new ones, so these can go to the recycle bin with the rest of the metal that we're not reusing on Pearl. And like we pointed out, we've got a few more wires that we still have to extend, and then of course we have to put a battery in, and we'll see where we stand there. That's going to be, well, we'll get it hooked up and break out the old electric meter and do some signal tracing and testing to see where our voltages show up. I've got to check the fuses. There's still a lot of things to be done. I also have to do a little repair work on the dashboard. I don't know if you remember whenever we took the control dash out, the control panel where the speedometer and the ammeter and all those things are. It has a multi-prong connector on it. And a couple of the prongs were stuck, and they literally broke off whenever I pulled the connector out. I've already pulled 2 posts out.
2 posts out of what?
Out of the printed circuit board.
Why am I feeling this is not a good thing?
Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4 posts came off the printed circuit board and are still in the plug. So that repair's got to be made too, because that's an electrical connection, and I don't want to put any kind of power to Pearl until I'm fairly sure that all the connections I know about are as sound as they can be. That's because I got a feeling whenever I do put power to her, I'm going to find some more connections that are going to need some attention. But that's the nature of the beast, as they say. Not that Pearl's a beast. She's a beauty, and I'm proud of her. And I'm glad we got some work done on her today. I'm really proud of the progress we made in the last few weeks here under the hood. It may seem kind of minor to some of you, but it's pretty big to me, because it's getting me one step closer every time we repair something, one step closer to getting her motor running. And getting out on the highway, as Steppenwolf would say. Anyway, new battery cables. Yeah. By the way, battery cables weren't the only thing I bought. I also got some JB Weld here and a little silicone sealant so that I can do work on my carburetor and see about getting it mounted. Now you may remember when we did our little cutouts on the carburetor here, and I actually cut out a little too much. So the carburetor fits, but it fits very loosely in the post. I'm going to use some JB Weld to do a little filling in those spots. Let that set up and then refit it to make these posts a little snugger so that the carburetor does a better job of sitting where it's supposed to be and holding steady there. And I got the gasket sealant to help me with the gasket that goes on here to get it in place. Not so much to use the sealant as a gasket, but just use it as an adhesive, more or less, to hold it in place and in position while I put the carburetor down on top of it. But all that work is going to come a little later on. Too late to even get started on it this evening, but at least I have the stuff, so now, whenever I have the time, maybe in a couple of days this weekend, we'll get on it. And I'll be sure you're with me when I do it. In the meantime, I've got a lot more video to watch to get ready for next week's 100th video special. So you join us then. Thanks for watching this time around. Remember, if you haven't subscribed, there's a link below to do that. You can buy me a coffee. Don't forget to check out our website, themtandme.com. And you can follow us on Facebook as well, okay? Thanks for watching once again. I'm Russ, and we will talk later. I remember this one. And I get a commercial, of course. Oh well.